all, I have another short thought piece for you today. This one in regards to microaggressions against women as part of ingrained societal misogyny. Basically, the phenomenon where someone, usually an older man, tells a woman to smile. If you're a girl or woman, you've most likely encountered this situation, being told to smile on command for no apparent reason, and oftentimes when nothing worth smiling for is happening, as if you're not allowed to wear anything but a smile. This is something that has been happening for a long time now and has kind of evolved over the years, so we'll get more into that later on in the video. But I want to read the post that started me on this topic. It reads, I'm tired of being told to smile by random customers, so I started telling them my dad died. I work at CVS, and I have a problem with how frequently customers make unsolicited comments. I may be representing the company as far as what goods and services we provide, and I'm a friendly person, but I was taught at a very young age that an employee ought to be friendly and not familiar, as it's poor manners. I personally think this goes both ways and has nothing to do with the quality of the service provided. It's simply common sense. When customers, usually older men, tell me to smile, I keep a blank demeanor and tell them my dad died a few days ago. Thankfully, I haven't had to do it more than twice at my current location. However, the man I encountered yesterday seemed thoroughly put off by my response, but he didn't even have the human decency to offer his condolences. Honestly, he seemed inconvenienced when his joke fell flat and just walked away without acknowledging me any further. What makes this more frustrating is that I'm a pretty outgoing person, but when an older man tells me to smile, all I hear is dance, monkey, dance. Am I the a-hole? And the responses underneath this post was really humorous and insightful, so let's get into those as well. One comment read, absolutely not the a-hole. Those comments need to stop. I work in a restaurant and get this a lot. I have several things I say or do depending on how pissed off I am. Usually I put on my biggest grommet grin, make my eyes as dead as possible, and stare them down for as long as I can keep my face 100% still. I can do this for a while. They get very, very uncomfortable very quickly. Usually they say, that's not what I meant. I reply, still with my grommet grin, I'm aware. Or when I'm a bit more pissed off, I ask, why should I smile more? And they usually reply, I think it's nicer when the waitress is always smiling. To which I reply, I think it's nicer when people keep their opinions to themselves. Or, I don't get paid to smile. I get paid to bring you beer, and here it is. Enjoy. Please note, I'm in Europe and I don't earn a living from my tips. I'm incredibly friendly and polite. I just have a very angry neutral expression and pretty powerful eyebrows. It's my face. I've had male guests complain about my reports before to male colleagues. My colleagues politely tell them to do one. The woman at the tables always howl with laughter at my retorts. Another comment reads, not the a-hole. I hate this stuff so much. It all boils down to women being viewed as objects for others' viewing pleasure and service instead of people with complex emotions and lives. You're being objectified, being told your feelings are invalid, and that's why you're mad. You have every right to be mad. Men don't typically have to endure this stuff. I was in an airport security line several years back. It was early morning and some TSA agent in the security line made a comment. Don't remember what he said exactly anymore, but it was similar to, why so glum, cheer up. I was on my way to visit my father, who had been diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, and told him as much. His face fell, and that guy deserved it. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be doing what I was doing, and I certainly didn't want to hear stuff from anyone else about my mood. I hope that nitwit learned a lesson that day. And along that same line of thinking, another comment even reads, I think they do this because they don't see us as people, especially when we're in customer service. It's dehumanizing. I think your response is a dose of reality that they need. I was in customer service for 10 years and people lose their minds when they become customers. From the aggression to the sexual harassment to losing the ability to read a damn menu board. And I think that really speaks to where all of this comes from in terms of being told to smile. Being told or commanded to smile is a form of sexism where women are perceived as not their own beings but as existing for societal, mainly men's interests. It's unacceptable to not be friendly and open as a woman, even on a bad day, or even when there's nothing particularly joyful happening. Men are allowed to have quote-unquote bad days, as well as not to smile. It is very rare that a man is told to smile, especially from someone he does not know. However, this is a common occurrence for women and girls. It is a form of subjugation, wherein the speaker, usually a man's desire to be comfortable, have a certain look shown to him, is pushed as more important than the receiver's, usually a woman or girl's, feelings and existence. Smile because I want you to, regardless of how you're feeling or what is happening. Men also realize they can't exactly go around and tell random women to smile, though some do. So they are more likely to exert this subjugation in situations where it's less likely for the woman to fight back, or situations where the woman cannot really react as negatively as she would like. Basically, situations where they can get away with it. Situations such as customer serving roles within the scope of a professional job or office environment, though oftentimes the performance of that job has nothing to do with facial expressions, or quickly in passing. Think of the random men who sometimes walk up and tell you to smile on the street without even waiting for a reply. Yes, this does happen to women, and is also something that needs to be talked about. Older men tend to be more direct with telling you to smile, but there's also a trend among younger men where they realize how bad it is to straight up tell women to smile, but they still, having been influenced already in patriarchal society, try to force the smiling status quo onto women. You see this when you hear comments such as randomly asking women if they're okay whenever they're not smiling, or despite nothing else happening, or saying things such as "you look tired," though that last one commands the whole makeup issue and becomes a broader topic which also needs to be talked about. Now, this is not to say all men are evil, or this is some mass-wide plan to perform misogyny against women, but rather this is to bring up one of the negative influences of the patriarchal society in which we live. Much like my earlier post on covert discrimination, being told to smile can be seen as a subtle sort of discrimination, where women are viewed as lesser than men and therefore not deserving of equal privileges, such as having more than one emotion publicly. It is something that we as a society need to examine and get past in order to stop these negative outcomes which ultimately affects both sexes. Women in the negative feelings and experiences associated with being commanded to smile, despite not feeling happy, and men with the negative stereotyping that results from telling women to smile, as well as the increased likelihood of negative future interactions, as women become on guard against patriarchal views and more closed off as protection. Think of all the women who are more cautious when interacting with men because they've heard sexist and demeaning remarks in the past. I also want to add that I'm aware that other women also tell fellow girls and women to smile, but that too is a form of patriarchal society pressuring women to keep things the status quo. It also happens a whole lot less than when men do it, and to a less harsher degree. Think more suggestion than command. And if it does occur, rarely happens in circumstances when there's no reason not to smile. I've never, for instance, been told by a random woman in the street to smile, while I have been stopped by multiple helpful men who I could only assume didn't like passing by a not smiling woman. This doesn't make it any less wrong, but the man-woman interaction and misogyny behind smiling is definitely something that we need to focus on more. So let me know your thoughts in the comment sections. How do you feel about being told to smile and the whole smile culture in general? What are some personal examples you have in regards to it? How can we as a society work to eradicate this behavior and the line of thinking behind it? Any other opinions on the effects of sexism within our society? Please like, comment, and share. And I just want to finish up with a comment in this forum that I found very funny personally. And it reads, "A guy at a sandwich place told me to smile and I said, say something funny. And he just froze, and it's one of my favorite memories." Thanks for watching.